I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon and welcome to the June 1st, 2021 meeting of the Bryan Board of Public Affairs. First item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of the May 18th, 2021 regular meeting. Board members, you've all been presented with the minutes, have a chance to read them, and any additions or corrections, please make note of that.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes to the May 18th meeting as written.
Second. Dick.
Yes.
Karen. Yes. Tom.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Annette. Yes.
Second item is a hearing of public concerns. Anybody that plans to call in, it's not the time to do it. We'll wait a few seconds. Third item on our agenda is presentation and a discussion on the city rental properties. Nate?
Yeah, Derek Schultz and myself had a discussion about ways that we could create another option for the board to consider. This was a couple of months ago. I think we first started looking at this option. So Derek graciously had offered to help in the research and finding out some different things for us. So I thought that I would have him give us a little presentation to give us a little background on just as a refresher. Everybody knows what they are, but I think it's good that we go back and just do a quick refresher. And then later, I think we got hopefully Chief Signers will join us.
Thanks, Nate. As you said, this will be just an overview of probably the same thing we've heard many a times. I'll start and go through the properties, we'll look at some of the BPA discussions that you had before and some benefits to the option. The first location, 223 South Emmett Street, it was purchased in 2002 by the electric department. We recovered revenues for 114% of the purchase price. That's adjacent to the power plant and the water treatment plant. Also on the south side of that property, we have a 24-inch water main that runs about 10 foot from the house. So if it were ever to break, there's potential there to cause pretty significant damage to the property. 308 East South Street was purchased in April of 2013 by the electric department. Revenues recovered 86% of the purchase price, and that's adjacent to the Cherry Street substation. It was bought to maintain a buffer around those facilities. 306 East South Street, purchased in February of 2006 by the electric department. Revenues recovered 76% of the purchase price, and that again is by the Cherry Street substation. 622 East Butler Street was purchased in January of 2005 by the water department. Revenues there recovered 82% of the purchase price. That is on the north side of the water treatment plant, and that property could be used for future expansion of the treatment plant. So why were the properties purchased? BMU desired to purchase and own the properties adjacent to existing facilities. Again, the Cherry Street sub, the power plant, the water plant allowed for future expansion, and it created a buffer around the existing facilities. The condition and occupancy, broken windows, boarded up windows, pests, they're deteriorating quickly since they've become vacant, and even vandalism. All of the properties are currently vacant. February 21st, 2017, the board voted down a motion to develop an exit strategy. I think you were presented with 3 options, and at the time voted that down, but the direction was to keep the rental properties in as-is condition, and as renters moved out, they would not be re-rented, and then demolition would be sought. January 21st, 2020, we did have a presentation ready for you. The presentation was not shown, but it was verbally walked through at that meeting. We intended to bring it back to you in 2020, but as we all know, there was a pandemic and our focus changed. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what the demolition process would look like if that's the route you chose to go. The first step would be to have an asbestos survey performed. Those estimated around $250 a piece. And we have a list of recommended companies that can perform that. Maumee Valley Planning Organization gave us that information. Once you get the survey back, if asbestos is found, we would need to contract with a licensed asbestos abatement contractor. And we also have a list of companies that can perform that too. If there is no asbestos found, you can proceed to demolition. 70% of residential homes come back without asbestos. Some broad abatement costs, they're pretty reasonable on residential projects as long as there isn't asbestos siding. If there is, you're in the range of $5,000 to $7,000 to have that removed. If they find just small quantities, you're typically $1,000 or less. You would contract with the abatement contractor to remove the asbestos. We would then ask that contractor to list DMU on the EPA permit as the demolition contractor. Nate and I have discussed this, and we feel like that we have the staff and the equipment that we could tear them down on our own. If that survey came back with no asbestos, DMU, we would have to complete the paperwork for the EPA to get the permit, and we would be listed as the demolition contractor. And again, we feel like we can perform that with our staff and our equipment. Disposal and restoration. We would propose to dispose of that at the Williams County landfill. That includes all the materials after it's abated. We would have to do a special waste profile. It's really similar to what we do with the water plant with the aerator when we get rid of that media. It's a pretty simple process. There is a per ton cost, and then we would haul it with our own equipment. And then restore the property to green space. Benefits of a demolition, we would protect our assets as was originally intended when the properties were purchased. We could prepare for future expansions. We can reduce blight and be good stewards of our property. City of Bryan Fire Department also could use this as some training, and I'd like to ask Chief Siders if he wants to say a few words about that.
Good evening, board members. The houses that we're talking about is a great opportunity for the fire department to use to do some practice with. You folks are going to be tearing these structures down, and for us, it is a great opportunity to be able to get in there to do some search and rescue training for our guys, do some firefighter rescue training, cut holes in the roofs, cut holes in the floors, get some good saw practice for our folks. So we don't get this kind of opportunity every day. So when a house does come available that we can practice with, we'd like to get an opportunity with the owners to see if we can't do something with it. It's a long process for us. It's probably going to take us at least a month to get through a structure. And as I told Derek, by the time we get done with it, it's not safe to be standing any longer, and we can probably push it over before we leave at night. So it'll probably be in a pile by the time you guys get to it. But we would have a lot of opportunity for us to go in there and do some training for our folks. So I would like to be able to do that before you folks would tear the structures down. So, and I'd entertain any questions that you might have in regards to what we'd be doing in those buildings.
Chief Siders, would you want to practice on each one of the homes?
Yes, we would. The reason for that is because obviously no two homes are exactly alike, so it gives us an opportunity to practice in each one of the different types of homes. I don't know if any of them are two-story. Maybe some of them have basements in them. So each one of them presents itself with a different scenario for us to work with. So it gives us a real good opportunity to practice in these homes. Sharpens our skills and gets everybody better trained. All right, thank you.
The last one here is, just kind of a refresher, we're not requesting any action today, just direction from the board. If there's other options you would like us to explore, or if you do want to move forward with tearing them down, it does require board approval, and we can work to prepare a resolution for you. I know it was quick, but that's all I have, and if you have any questions, me or myself can answer those for you.
I guess I do have a quick question, and I guess it goes to maybe Chief Siders here. If we were to have you guys do your training and stuff, I guess, is there a time frame that you would be interested in completing that training over a certain period of time, or would you?
We're flexible. I guess once we would make a determination as to what house you're going to start with, like to say that, we'll say starting next month, we're going to have one of the houses on South Street. That we would take that whole month of July and practice everything that we wanted to do in that house. And by the end of July, we would be done with that particular house, and then we could move on to the next one. And if you folks decide that, you want to do one in July and maybe one in September, and you want to wait till next year, that's fine with us. I just want an opportunity to be able to just take our guys down there and practice with those houses. So
Yeah, I
to
guess
sharpen
that's
their
kind of the
skills.
question. Would you try to do all the, because it seems that you would want to stretch out the training rather than do it all in 4 months in a row or whatever.
Yeah. If we could, that'd be fine. But if your schedule works out such a way that you would rather just do bang, 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 then we're flexible. We don't mind.
Well, I think the two houses that are adjacent would be done one right after.
Yeah, relatively quickly.
Fire holes up
Right.
as soon as possible.
Yeah, to just add to that though, I think Cherry Street being the worst of the two, I think we would probably prefer to start on something like that. And we didn't budget for it either. So I think the timing might work out best for us, because if we started on Cherry Street and did one and then did the other, and then we did the other two, maybe beginning of next year or something like that, because they're in a little better condition than the other two, might be something for us to consider. And that would help you stretch out your training a little bit too. Yep.
Derek, not that this demolition isn't important, but I'm sure the water department, and this time of year, anyway, the water department's got bigger fish to fry. I just was wondering if you had any idea. That's why I was hoping that I'd really like to see a resolution on this. I'd like to see this get started. Do you have any idea? I mean, and like Chief said, pick the ones that we're going to start with and then turn them loose on them and kind of have their way. And do you think that it would be a case that once you started demolition on one, you'd be able to stick on it until it was completed? I mean, it wouldn't be a filling kind of job.
Right. Once you started, you have to complete it. For the water department, like Dean said, it wasn't budgeted for. Right. So time and budget, I would say maybe towards the end of the year or the first part of next year.
I guess another question I would have is if it would take a month to do your practice training and stuff like that, would we be required, or will we be installing some kind of a temporary fence?
I asked Maumee Valley Planning that question, and there's no regulations. The fences, it's left up to the demolition contractor, whatever their judgment is. So if we wanted to do that for safety, we could.
I know for us, when we would start on the project, we would leave the doors so that we could secure the structure every day before we left. That way the building would be secure, and we'd leave the windows intact. But there's going to come a point where we will no longer be able to do that because of the practice that we do, forcible entry and ventilation. So there would come a point where the building would no longer be secured. And at that point, we could work together, maybe come up with some snow fence or something to put around it, just to keep the honest people honest.
Derek, I have a question. Is there anything in there salvageable? I'm talking about furnaces, water heaters, anything that could be donated?
I mean, maybe Nate or Sylvia can give you that information. I don't exactly know. I haven't been in it for a long time.
I think there probably is stuff, more stuff we salvage, the less we maybe have to haul to the dump, which in turn costs us money, right? I also don't want to create like a free for all where everybody's, I want the water heater, I want this, I want that, I want to kind of stay away from that whole thing. So we're still working on if that's the way the board chooses to go, is some type of strategy to maybe accomplish both things. Maybe we do a quick sealed bid, let somebody have such a time frame to take out a water heater or cabinets or whatever, I don't know. I think it should be fair for everybody, or, not. I just don't want to get into that, go in there and, rip it apart and take things out of it. So kind of still looking at that piece of it.
Any other questions or discussion?
No, I think it's a great idea. Fire department gets trained,
Absolutely.
more you chop holes and knock down and could save us some bucks.
So could we have a resolution at the next meeting?
We could, if you guys give us that direction, that's what we'll do.
Excellent idea.
Yes, please.
I think this is a sore spot with some folks in the community.
I'd sign one tonight if we could have it.
Okay. Well, thanks, Chief, for.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is resolution. Lori, would you number and read, please?
Resolution number 18, 2021. Authorizing the Director of Utilities to execute an agreement with Kent Power Inc. for the construction of the 34.5 kV upgrade project.
And Jim, you're going to speak to that?
Yes, sir. As the board is well aware of, we had been working on projects through 3 phases or 3 portions of that to get started on getting the 34.5 eliminated. First part of that was to upgrade the Titan Tire substation. Just a refresher, we had transformers that came in with a little more better value engineering from the electrical department and the power plant. The original engineering estimate was for $1,145,297, and the bid came in at $876,152, which was a $269,000, $145,000 savings. With the structures, Tapman bid was awarded. The engineering estimate was $158,650, and the bid came in at the engineering bid was $157,250, and the actual bid came in at $158,650, which was still well within the 10%. And here we have SSOEs helped us also with the construction bids. We find ourselves on the favorable side of that. We had 5 bids come in, all the way from $384,200 up to $153,073. There's people like Kent Power, Intron, Vaughn, Thompson, and FET Construction, which 3 or 4 of those the board is very familiar with as we've used them in our breaker upgrade, our substation building, and a couple other projects in the past. Kent Power's come in with a bid of $384,200. The engineering estimate was $524,750, which is $140,055 savings. So those 3 total together is $1,419,002. The 2021 budget was $1,750,000. So a change from budget to cost is a savings of $330,998. Which is great to hear that we've come in under budget, and we've also received a bid from a company that we're very familiar with and very grateful that we can get to work with them again, hopefully. So we're requesting from the board that we be able to award the construction bid to Kent Powers for the sum of $384,200. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Anybody have any questions for Jim? Or comments?
Yeah, Jim, was a warranty requested in the bid documents? I see that Intren did not submit a warranty. So I was just wondering, because Kent Power offered 12 months warranty.
I guess I don't recall that off the top of my head. If the warranty was in Intran, I don't think so. But I know that Kent Powers, they definitely said that they were ready to meet the bid as written and presented in the drawings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they had no exceptions to our bid, that was important, you know, and just so you know, excited to be, you know, $140,000, you know, less than the engineer's estimate, considering right now, if you look across the board, go buy a 2x4. We're seeing rates over 300% increase in most. Jim could attest to some of the wood he bought for the.
Yeah, my flashboard price for just the wood portion is typically $2,100. 2 weeks ago, it cost me $4,700. So the material cost is definitely going to negatively impact our future budget, at least in the short term.
So we're glad to get a bid that was under as much as it was in today's market. So hopefully this is just a small bubble that we're seeing. It's going to go away. But right now is probably the worst time to be purchasing things if you don't have to purchase them. So I was real happy to get this bid.
Good job, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 18.
I'll say
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Thank you to everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Next item on the agenda is a resolution. Lori, would you number and read, please?
Resolution number 19, 2021, authorization to receive loan proceeds for the advanced metering infrastructure project and authorizing additional appropriations in the 515 electric capital and 525 water capital reserve funds.
Nate, would you address that, please?
Yeah, this is all in preparation of receiving our financing from key government financing for our AMI project. This is to set up the accounts in the water capital and the electric capital and just preparing for that. After this, if you approve it, it will go on and council will need to approve it on their end also. Just a little quick update on as far as the AMI and this funding preparation here. I just talked to them today. We have a meeting set up for tomorrow to just go over a few things. And it sounded like if things go well, we may be able to close on this in a couple of weeks. So that was good news. Yeah. Little update on that part of it. And that's about it. Pretty much just bookkeeping for the clerk treasury to prepare the money to come in.
Any questions or comments for Nate?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 19.
Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next item is a request to place a water department employee on workload employment status, and Jackie's going to join us virtually.
Good evening. Yep, I'm on the phone. Thank you. First of all, we have Chad Fitzenreiter. that we would like to move from probationary status to regular employment status as a water treatment operator 3. Chad continues to perform his essential functions of his position. His dedication and work ethic have been a great asset to the BMU team, as well as the city of Bryan customers. And he also does his best in assisting our customers while maintaining the water supply and keeping customers satisfied.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Chad Ryder, to take him off of probation and give him full-time water treatment operator 3 title.
I will second.
Karen,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Annette.
Yes.
Next item is to accept the retirement of a water department employee. Jackie?
Yes, unfortunately, we have another retirement. It's with regret that I must inform you that Eugene Wilson will be retiring as of June 30th of this year. He's been a member of the BMU team for 22 years, with a total of 32 years in the OPER system. He started out his tenure with BMU as a meter reader for 1 year before moving to the water distribution team, where he's been a great asset for the last 21 years. So we will miss Gene. However, we wish him well as he moves to the next stage of his life. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
I will make a motion with regret that we approve.
I'll second.
Jim,
Yes.
Jim, Tom,
Yes.
Karen, Annette.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda
Thank
is.
you.
Thank you, Jackie. Next item is to approve semi-monthly disbursements.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills.
This is Annette.
Jim?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Yes.
Karen.
Yes.
Last item on the agenda is comments from BPA and staff. And I'm not going to call on you first, and I'm going to call on Lori.
Yes. I have nothing to.
Now you're up there.
Well, that was not much of a reprieve, Mr. Sprow. First of all, I'd like to wish Gene Wilson his retirement and all the best to him. I'd also like to extend my appreciation on behalf of the city of Bryan to the board for allowing the discussion about fire training. I think anytime any of us can allow for our firemen volunteering full-time to be trained, it helps all of the citizens in Bryan. So I appreciate your willingness to entertain that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any department heads like to say something? No? Annette?
I'm just gonna basically say the same thing. Happy retirement to Gene. And also, I think that that's a really great idea to follow through with the fire department and help out where we can. So, yes.
Okay.
I just, same thing, good luck, Gene, on your retirement. Hope you enjoy it as much as I have. Congratulations to Chad for moving on. That's all I have. Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Chad also, and congratulations to Gene, and thank you for all his years of service, and it'll definitely be missed around here. He's pretty much been a fixture since I've been here, so I hate to see him go, but I'm happy for him. I'd also like to thank Annette. She invited me down, and I took a trip down to Pauline Putnam down there, and they are actually in the process of they're using Eaton too. And so I know she went around and introduced me to each and every one. I was very impressed with the place. For one thing, I guess I wasn't expecting that. Beautiful facility. And when I got to the engineering portion and the meter reading area, I think I bored her to death. And then she left me, and I ended up staying there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, talking to their engineer. They were showing me screenshots of the software they're using is identical to ours, what we're going to be using. They were walking me through it. I didn't realize that they actually go all the way to New Haven, Indiana. So their service area is huge. It really is compared to ours, which is condensed. And I guess I was just having a good time where they were showing me how things were done, exactly what the screens and what you could see, how one would hop to get to a gateway, and you can physically count them and see them. It's geospatially, totally accurate as far as, where they're at and stuff like that. It was just, it was amazing. I had a great time to see, and I think that I'm really excited about it, to be honest with you now. They went with an old system that they're updating right now, and they're going to an actual very similar system that we have. So it was great to be able to go there and see how it worked. And they left the line of communication open. They were, even telling me like, watch out for this when you're resetting a meter back to zero. If you don't set it back to zero, it still holds the reading. And all these little things that they learned in this process was invaluable. So they, left me with, being able to help in any way that they can. And I thought that was great to be able to go out there and see that. So I appreciate that. I guess the governor's removing the health orders as far as that goes tomorrow. I just want everybody to be responsible and continue to do what you feel is comfortable for you. We are going to provide a safe working environment for our staff and for our customers. So although the mandate for the masks are lifted and certain things, I still want people to feel comfortable if they feel the need to wear them. I encourage them to do so. Also, we have customers that we deal with. If they don't feel comfortable, I want them to speak up and say that they would prefer that. We're going into local businesses. We still have to comply with a lot of those things. So the masks may be going away, but they're still in our pockets, and we use them when we need to use them. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And just one last thing, I want to wish Tom a happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Karen.
Yes, I have a couple things. First off, I'm really happy that we're moving on this year with the AMI system and the rental houses. A couple big things in my agenda to help try to direct us towards, but it seems like it's a natural fit for us to go that way. I think we were very well prepared for the last couple of years to head this way, and we were. And now we're getting a goal achieved that's been long overdue, I think. And thank you, Derek, for fitting this into your schedule, your work schedule with your crew, especially with one retiring and, leaving you with less manpower. But hopefully your new vehicle, when that arrives, will be of some great assistance there. And Nate, thanks for allowing this into the budget to make it come to fruition. And congratulations to Chad on his coming off of probation. That's it. Jim.
I'd like to congratulate Chad on his status change, and also Gene Wilson. And I'm gonna date myself here, but I don't have to remember when he started. So, but I know Gene's a good guy, and I want you to be sure to enjoy your retirement. I know you will. I was happy to see we made progress on AMI and the 34.5 upgrade. It looks like we got some good bids on that. You know, so it's no secret. I've always taken kind of a personal interest in the demolition of those homes, so I'm glad to see that we're making progress with that. I guess, not that I'm trying to hurry anybody, but I guess the sooner the better. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jim. All right. Gene, congratulations on your retirement, like everybody else has mentioned, and Chad on your new classification. Like Jim mentioned, finally seeing the houses issue, you know, being resolved and moving forward on the AMI. Looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting. That's all I have. Any press? Anything to say? I don't know. I think okay. Anybody else? Huh? Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Tim?
Yeah.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen? Annette?
Meeting is adjourned.
You're welcome.